I just wanted to walk around with you all the time because I feel like you take what I'm trying to say, you pull it right into focus, and so just cut to me every once in a while and we'll bounce back to you.
You're watching It's Been a Minute from NPR. I'm Brittany Luse. My guest today is actor, producer, and cabaret singer Bridget Everett. She's one of the stars and creators of a show I absolutely adore, Somebody Somewhere, on HBO. The show centers on Bridget's character, Sam, a spirited but withdrawn 40-something who recently returned to her hometown of Manhattan, Kansas. That's where Bridget's from, too. The series opens as Sam tries to come to terms with the recent death of her older sister and follows as she embarks on new friendships and mends old family bonds.
Joel, this is for you.
It's a perfect comfort watch. It's quiet, sweet, and laugh out loud funny. Bridget Everett, welcome to It's Been a Minute.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, my absolute pleasure.
So cool. I walked in the NPR building. I feel pretty good.
I'm glad we kept it very legit for you today.
Yeah.
Okay, Bridget, to start off, I know that you studied music and opera.
Mm-hmm.
I also was a child opera singer. I used to sing children's parts in operas when I was a kid. I'm wondering, what are some of your favorite vocal warm-ups?
I do this. I studied with Liz Kaplan for a while, and she's just saying, ee-oo-ee, ooh-ee, ooh, ee-oo-ee. But the thing that I really like to do the most is like,
What?
Because it loosens your situation back
What you
there.
just did, the snort, that's the warm up.
Yeah, that's one of the things that you do to sort of like keep it
Like that?
like
That's something I just do involuntarily when I laugh a lot, but I didn't realize that
It's
a
good for
warm
you.
up. It's legit.
Yeah, it's legit. Keep it.
I'm gonna keep it. Thank you. You've given me something I can take home today. So, okay, also on your show, your character Sam, on Somebody Somewhere, your character Sam, she frequently makes up like little ditties.
Yeah.
What's your favorite of them that we could share on NPR?
One of them is something that I used to sing with my friend, like back in the 90s, because I would always forget my keys. It was like, keys, phone, cash ID, keys,
Yes.
phone. And then he had, just like dumb things like that. But that's something that I do every day. I like to sort of sing to myself and sing to the people around me, just dumb little things.
Well, I mean, it works.
I guess I'm on HBO now, so maybe it was smart.
Maybe it was smart. Maybe it was smart. So on that note, HBO, you got this amazing show, Somebody Somewhere. It's coming back for its second season. For people who haven't seen Somebody Somewhere, explain what the show is and what it's about.
Ultimately, it's about not giving up on yourself, and it's about friendship, kind of meeting somebody later in life and learning how to fall in love with them as a friend, and there's not like a huge premise, there's not like a lot of story and plot. It's just more about sitting in the room with people and kind of living with them as they're going through something.
I mean, on the show, your character Sam moves back to Manhattan, Kansas, not as bustling as Manhattan, New York.
It's literally called the Little Apple.
The Little Apple, exactly. One of the things that we've been talking about on our team as we're preparing to talk to you, in one of the meetings that we were in, I realized that I was the only, as I said, country mouse. Everybody else was from a city. I really have enjoyed sort of the pace of the show. I think that you captured how it feels really accurately.
That makes me happy to hear because, Paul and Hannah, who are our show creators, they're Midwestern, and I'm from Kansas, obviously. And we just don't want to do anything snarky. We want to do something kind, I guess. I know that word gets jockeyed around a lot, but I just feel like we wanted to do something kind of simple. And hope that it wasn't too simple.
Oh, no.
But we like watching it, and we're like, if we like it, then hopefully somebody else will.
I would love to know from you, what is the thing that you love most about Manhattan, Kansas?
You know what I love most is the thing that I ran from is community. When we were doing the show and we sort of needed boots on the ground for something, I could call my brother, my oldest brother, or my best friend Stephanie, who lives there. And there's something about that. I found my community in New York, obviously, but I don't know, there was the small townness of it I couldn't get away from fast enough. But now I sort of need it. I miss it.
Executive producer Carolyn Strauss called Somebody Somewhere a coming of middle age story, which I thought was so interesting. I feel like so many narratives in TV and film are concerned with hitting specific markers of adulthood, parenting, having kids, purchasing a home, like climbing up the career ladder. And Sam's not really concerned about any of those things. Some of those things she doesn't even necessarily want. Even in some ways, sometimes as a viewer, I'm not even sure that Sam herself fully knows what she wants out of life. Still, like in a period where I think culturally and like pop culturally, you're expected to have everything kind of figured out. To me, Sam seems like she's in the process of defining herself for herself outside of any of those things. I wonder, is there like a point of self-definition that you hope that Sam gets to?
Wow, these are such really thoughtful questions. I think that for Sam, and I think for a lot of people, like not everything has to be marriage, kids, career, all that. I think Sam is more inch by inch. It is fun to think about where she's going and how she's going to get there because it doesn't seem like she really has anything specific in mind. But I'm kind of like that too. Like I always think about what's right in front of me. I don't think about like, I want to do this in my career. I want to have this kind of personal life. I just sort of take it day by day. And I think that that's something you don't really see on TV because it could be kind of boring because there's not a lot going on. But we really try to show Sam's internal life and her growth as slow as it is. And meeting somebody like Joel, who's like so full of life and full of direction and full of purpose.
And
right?
Joel's her best friend.
And Joel's her best friend.
Who
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
kind of reunited with, like a high school friend she reunites with, and they just stick to each other.
Yeah, and I think the thing, she'd probably still be on her own if he wasn't so undeniable. He's so warm and sweet, and he just has a gentleness about him that feels warm and safe for her. And what I love about the story is about how somebody like that can sort of slowly bring you back to life. And it is a slow burn. It is a slow crawl. I have friends that have been putting in a lot of work with me for a lot of years. And I think that that's just it's a different kind of story. And I guess that's kind of what we're trying to do.
No, I noticed that when you talk about Sam, you kind of almost talk about Sam and yourself, not completely interchangeably, but sort of noticing that there are some similarities between you as a person and also who Sam is, like at her core as a character. I mean, you've said in interviews before that Sam is kind of like who you would be if maybe you had never left Manhattan, Kansas, where you're actually from, or if you had never come to New York. And that the show is in some ways semi-autobiographical. Has the show allowed you to reflect on yourself or moments from your life in a different way? Yeah,
absolutely. What I love about Sam is that, and I call her Sam because like if we're in the editing room, I don't want to be like, well, you just did that. Bridget just did that. It's Sam. She's a character.
Right.
And she takes bigger emotional swings than I would, even though they're small. Like,
yeah.
I just think that, I think there's a lot I can learn from her and a lot of me that's infused in her. But the way that her friends, especially Joel and her sister in this season, sort of either gently or abruptly help her sort of see herself and help lift her up and dig her out of where she is. I think Sam is willing to face that, where I would just be like, you know what, I gotta go, and I'd hit the road, go lay on the couch and snuggle up with my dog and be like, well, you still love me, right?
It's almost like emotional practice or something.
Yeah, yeah. And specifically with my own family, we have a sister who passed away, and thank you. And what's great about doing this show for me is I never really dealt with my grief, and my family and we don't talk about it. If we do anything, we're very Midwestern, at least our family has a way of deflection. We sort of like deflect a lot with humor and don't really talk about her. So the show has been a way to kind of think about my own grief and think about the way grief in sort of infects your life, how it at first it's so overwhelming, but then how it just sort of, it comes in waves, right? It pops up one day and totally takes your breath away. And so in season 2, when Sam is dealing with her sister, and my own sister and we don't have the kind of relationship where we're having these like conversations about how we really feel. We just don't do that. And Sam and Trisha, her sister, really get at it because Trisha is making Sam talk about things. She's pushing her, but Sam also kind of can't help herself. And like, I feel that way sometimes. And like, I want to be able to talk about this. And and we just don't do it. And Sam does, and like in the way that your family can kind of lay you bare or sort of strip you to the, just hit your nerve in like 1 second, and how it can completely unravel you. And that's why I love the season 2 arc with Trisha, her sister, because I feel like it's just Trisha is growing and Sam is just stuck. I don't know.
No, I'm glad. I'm literally, that was my next question. Was about the sister dynamic. The sibling dynamic was between them is so sharp. Like, they will hit each other below the belt.
Yeah.
On a regular basis. But then will turn around and sometimes be the first person to come to the other's rescue. And I think anybody with siblings could relate to their relationship. How did you go about carefully building that dynamic? What
I really like, and what we all like, all of the writers and producers, is the way that you're sort of on course with two different kinds of relationships, and how the friendship one can sometimes be a little more gentle, at least in this instance, and then the familial one, the family one is kind of just gloves off, you know what I mean? But they both are they're both moving Sam along.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't want Trisha to just be a bitch. She's first of all, Mary Catherine, who plays Trisha, is an incredible actor, and you want to give her all the room in the world to do as much as possible, because she's so dynamic. And we were roommates for 8 years, so I've seen it all from her, and she's seen mine. We have the dirt on each other. But I think that kind of happens a lot. You see, like, oh, there's a sister, she's kind of one note, she's a bitch, and then maybe she redeems herself later. But I think we all wanted Trisha to have she has friends and a family, but like her life kind of unravels. It's like everybody is doing the best they can, and things never really work out for any of us the way that we hope to. And I think that, Sam being from a small town, there's a lot of pressure to sort of do all those things that Trisha, her sister, does do. But like, by seeing the way that things aren't working out for Trisha, she's like, well, I absolutely don't want that. Holly, the sister that, we start the series off, and she's been dead for 6 months or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she was kind of the buffer, right? So Trisha and Sam are kind of learning to live with each other without that. In my personal life, my sister who passed away was like, she believed in me, she loved me, she cared for me in kind of like sort of a chaotic household. She was gentle and maternal and loving, and that's how I think about Holly, who's passed away. Mm-hmm. But I love that Sam and Trisha are finding a way, as painful as it is, to discover each other and to live with each other, because they have the common bond of family, and they're not giving up on each other as much as I think Sam, perfectly, if he would have started off in season 1, she would have been happy to never have a relationship with Trisha. But I just love the slow road of them finding each other. I think it's really, really special.
Something I love about Trisha that really makes her stand out on the show is her commitment to the live, laugh, love aesthetic. Yeah. There's a plot line in season 2 that revolves around a pillow of Trisha's that she sells she's selling online or selling, that says, lying, see you next Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's say. And eventually, Trisha grows to have Legion pillows with sassy sayings on them. If you had to have one of Trisha's pillows in your home, what would it say?
Well, I do have some of those pillows, because I definitely contributed some of the names of the pillows that you will see in season 2. And when we were wrapping that day, I was like, oh, you don't mind if I take a couple of those to you for the house? I there's a live, laugh,
see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, live, laugh, I'll see you there. You know what I mean? It makes me laugh. And what's so funny about it is, there's a line in the pilot where Sam was like, there she is. Sam knows that there is, Trisha's always putting on a front, right? When we first meet her, but she's just like Sam underneath it. Yeah. But also Sam is more like Trisha than she thinks she is. And the fact that they can come together on these pillows is really delightful for me. And I think everybody should have one of those pillows in their house. There used to be a time when I didn't say that word for a long, long time, but now I feel like I like saying it. And for me, it's power. I'd like to be super C. You know,
Super.
just something. Actually, I'm sick of going by Bridget Everett on stage. I'm gonna start going by Super C.
I honestly, I feel like stock's gonna go up. I feel like stock's gonna go up if you do that. I feel
Well,
like
there,
it's only
and
positive.
also like I don't like to use like there's no reason to sort of throw out the word gratuitously, but like Sam has a foul mouth. Like that's just how I've always talked. He's always get in trouble, for kind of being too much and kind of I remember my swim coach sat me down. And he's like, "Do you ever think before the things come out of your mouth?" I'm like, "No, should I?" But I think that was also why I wanted to get out of Kansas, because for a long time I felt like I don't fit in here. Like I don't play by the rules. I have like a potty mouth and farts make me laugh and I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I think that that's also kind of a big theme of the show is like Sam just trying to still realize it's okay for herself to be a little naughty. So when Trisha has one of those pillows, it really makes her lean into Trisha a little. I think it's like a beautiful way for sisters to come together over the. Oh, sorry, you can edit that out. Over the.
To move on to another relationship on the show, the relationship between Sam and her BFF, Joel. It is so beautiful. Their love is really the center of, I think, of the show. He's exactly the friend that everyone wishes that they had, right? And if you have a friend like that, then you cherish that person. Yeah. And it seems almost like, to me, the whole show is framed around Joel's outlook on life. Like, in the sense that the show, I think, is really about people who want to be connected to one another.
Yes.
Sam fights that to some degree. But Joel is so open and earnest. He's always looking for ways to like create community or go out on that date or say hi to somebody. How's that tension drive the show?
I think that what he brings is like a warmth and a humor that kind of just allows Sam to view life in a different way, which I think when you're in your 40s is really hard. And when you're at this age, you need somebody who's going to sort of come at you from, nowhere and sort of knock you off your feet and lift you back slowly. And that's what he does.
There's a moment that I think really speaks to Joel and Sam's relationship that happens in season 2. I will not get into explicit detail for those who have sensitive spirits, but there is an extended poop joke between Sam and Joel in season 2. And my editor has a theory that poop jokes are most enjoyed by people under 10 and people over 40. Now, I'll say I'm 35 and I love a poop joke. Like, they kill with me. Yeah. I'm the crowd they kill with 24/7. But what do you think about that? Like, I feel like that speaks to their intimacy, right? The fact that like,
exactly
poop is kind of the
thing
you don't talk about.
Yeah, I think it's exactly we want to do something that would speak to their level of intimacy, and this feels about as intimate as you could get. But I bought myself this golden toilet as a wrap gift for season 2.
Really, it's darling. Wait, does it open and close
it
like
opens.
that? Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, so I think it's a reminder also to just not take life too seriously, and I realize that maybe not everybody's we might lose a few people because not everybody thinks farts are funny, but I do. Guess what? I'm number 1 on the call sheet and an executive producer, so it stays. And I'll tell you what, who never laughs harder is Carolyn Strauss. And Carolyn Strauss produced Game of Thrones, The Last of Us, and a host of other things. And if it makes her laugh, then it's good for me.
We see Sam throughout the show kind of use art and performance and really singing as like an avenue for growth, or like almost like for us as the viewer, like a litmus test of sort of where she is. One of the most heartbreaking moments of this season was when your character Sam was doing a singing lesson and the teacher guides her through the warm-ups and Sam becomes overcome by the feelings that it brings up and she just leaves. It seems like the thing that she loves most is almost like too painful for her to do, like singing this thing that like there's all these moments throughout the show where we see Sam really expressing herself and feeling free when she's singing as long as she feels safe. But also there's all these other moments where singing almost feels impossible for her to do because she loves it so much.
Yeah.
How do you relate your relationship to singing to that moment or that feeling within Sam?
Well, I understand it. It's there because it's the way I feel about music and singing. It feels like it's like when Sam sings, especially something emotional that, it's kind of confronting her. It's like, because it's undeniable. Like when Sam sings a song that she sings in the voice house, it's like I can't even talk about it because it's just all so connected for me and for Sam. It's like it's a love that's so deep and so personal. It's a great love of her life. And I just can't talk about it.
It's interesting that you would have such like a similar reaction to Sam about singing. Like it strikes this emotional chord for you when it's, the thing that perhaps, before this show you were most known for. You have this huge personality on stage where you're like belting out and playing with the audience, and it seems like it's also still this thing that's very sacred for you though in a similar way.
Yeah, but in that way, it's a lot about like singing about different body parts and keeping it light and keeping it fun but I sing ballads with my band and all that, but it's just I don't know, it's like the emotional through line, and I guess I have a little work to do just like Sam does. Anyway,
I think everybody has something like that though.
Yeah, definitely. And mine's just singing, and so is Sam's. It's the thing that I think there's something that the singing teacher says to Sam, it's like, it's almost too much to bear. And I think that is, it's true. It's like, I feel like Sam faces her pain when she sings because it's the way that she knows how to communicate. And she hasn't been singing for so long. That's why. So. So it's heavy for her.
It's like this, it's like the channel through which she can kind of really truly express herself. Maybe perhaps one of the only ones that she has, and it makes it tender.
Yeah. Yeah. Barbara Walters 2.0.
I really don't intend for this.
No, I mean, I feel like silly, like how emotional it makes me, but it is, and I think it's kind of, I think it's an interesting relationship that she has, and I'm glad that we sort of, when we were talking about season 2, I really wanted to have like some more about the singing and about that relationship, because it's what I think it's what gives her wings, she hasn't had wings for a long time. I think what Sam is learning is like, it doesn't have to be just one person that can kind of give you life. It can be singing, it can be a lot of things at the same time. And I learned that when I moved to New York and I met my showbiz family, my I discovered that world, and I love the people I grew up with, and I love the people I went to college with, but the people that I know now understand me in a different way, and I think that that's Sam's experience with Joel and the people around her and Fred Rococo and all that. So
that's such a really beautiful way of putting it. Like you can, like through Sam, but I think this is something that applies to all of us. It's like you have to have multiple lifelines.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like life becomes almost impossible to get through.
Yeah.
You're so dependent on one.
And I think sometimes, like in my own personal life, I'm like, well, I'll just give this person this much, and I'll give this person that much, and I'll give, so you're sort of like spread out, so you're kind of safe. You know what I mean? But
not divulging too much to any one person. You're like, well, maybe I'll save my teenage trauma for this other friend.
Exactly. I'm like, what is that? Like, it's not like I'm trying to weaponize anything. It's just like, I'm just trying to, and I think Sam does the same thing. She just wants to give certain things to Joel, but not to Trisha. And I don't know, you can divvy it up a little bit, lighten up, Sam.
It sounds like what we're kind of, the thing that we're talking around is just like being known, whether it's being seen in performance, right? Being known by an audience, even if it's for just that context or in that slice of time, but also being known in relationship.
Yeah.
being known in friendships and being known in family relationships, both intense.
Yeah, yeah. In
But
different ways,
yeah, no, it'd feel like allowing yourself to be known
Yeah.
is like, in some ways, that feels like the final frontier. And it's been
Absolutely.
it's been a really incredible journey to see Sam sort of live that out over the past couple of seasons. I'm excited for people to see season 2.
Me too. Hope you guys watch.
No, they're gonna watch it.
It's on. You can watch it HBO Max, just wherever you can find it.
I have one last question.
Yeah. Am I
know
single?
you're a
Yes, I am.
songstress.
I am single. Yes, thank you.
That was my question. But I mean, honestly, look, if I was, that would be I would be saying at the beginning and end of every show, I'd be like, "Hey, I'm available." But I know you're a songstress.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be so kind if you could do us the honor of making up just a little ditty, a little something short? Could be about NPR, could be about me, could be about the show, could be about you, whatever we talked about today.
It's been a minute since I felt this nice. It's been a minute since I felt so good. It's been a minute since I've lived my life the way that I want to live.
That's beautiful.
That wasn't very good. I could do better, but come on. It's early in the morning. I haven't had my third cup of coffee. And I couldn't sing about genitals, so I tried to do something sweet.
Oh my gosh. Bridget, thank you so much for coming on the
Thank
show
you.
today. It was a pleasure to have you.
I feel legitimized and very proud that I get to be on NPR and with you, and this has been a really great chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's been a minute since I felt this nice. It's been a minute since I felt so good. It's been a minute since I've lived my life the way that I want to live.